JustinY, and I'm a senior this year. The last thing I want to do as a senior is to complete a marathon. Right now, I'm training for the Big Sur Marathon in April. A major reason why I want to complete a marathon is because I haven't done any real distance running in 2 years. And in a way, it's a test for myself to see how much mental fortitude I have, how much I can handle, and how much I can commit myself to. And I know that if I can at least do most of the marathon, I'll know that I'll be somewhat ready for my future.
This mile, this step, this partner that I'm running with, this tree that's right here, you just really have to be present, because if you go farther than that and you're thinking, okay, I'm on mile 14 and I still have 22.2 miles, 12 miles to go, then it's like you can cripple your mind.
There are all kinds of steps that you go through. Whether you actually put them down chronologically, I don't know, but there's mental steps that you're thinking about. You got to decide first, are you going to even do the marathon? And what marathons are coming up, so you got to sort of think about, do I really want to run a marathon? One thing about when you run a race of that distance, or even longer than that, marathons definitely are tear-down races.
So it's already been a month and a half of training, and I'm just going to go for 30 minutes today. So yeah, all right. I already came a long way, and I'm already getting some injuries in my legs, a lot of cramps too. I don't know what's going on. It's really funny that I've been using advice that Annie Lewis gave to me in an interview with him, that if you just promise yourself that you'll never do this again, if you get through it, it'll help you a lot, because it kind of tricks your mind into thinking, yeah, once I'm done with this, I'll never ever do it again. And I've been using that advice for the last, a month and a half. And it's been working pretty well up until now, where I'm getting injuries in my knees, and it's just not helping anymore. I've already come a long way, and it just hurts. I'm developing shin splints, stress fractures in my shin, and I've been having some knee joint problems.
I think it's really believing in yourself and just believing that you can hang in there for 10 more minutes or 1 more mile, and just pushing yourself. And I think you have to be someone who can feel comfortable with pain, and so if you have a self-talk that's going on, you can say, okay, I know my calves are killing me, and I know that I feel like I want to stop, but I'm going to go 10 more minutes. And then you go 10 more minutes and do it again.
For an endurance athlete, you want someone who is strong at heart, who's willing to suffer.
You really need to run the distance and more, if possible, before the actual race. And it's in that running every week, adding more mileage and getting through that and getting to mile 26, that will make you mentally strong.
In endurance sports, the thoughts that go through your head the night before, 2 days before, the day of, and you're sitting there going, what have I signed myself up for? What have I gotten myself into? What the heck am I going to do? And can I finish this?
There's only 1% of the population who actually runs marathons, and so to be in that 1%, to really tell yourself, hey, you're a part of something that's really special, and not many people do this. This is quite extraordinary, and keep going, because the payoff is so great. The feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of I've done something that very few people even want to do.
Doing hill repeats, you pretty much run up the hill at a percentage of your sprint speed. I usually go 75%. I don't want to go all out, because then that kind of depletes my energy. The point of, you repeat over and over, hence hill repeats. The point of doing hill repeats, it kind of builds strength in your legs, so that when you run up hills, you have an easier time running up hills.
And it's a struggle when you have lots of things you want to do, especially as a new teacher. I used to work 17 hours a day, and you can't do that forever. You have to find a way to balance your life, and I think running is a time for me to really think, how can I get all this that I need to get done, as well as time to just really just be.
I can remember on some really tough races, I said, I tell you what, Body, I would be dealing with myself. And I said, I'll do a deal. If you get me to the finish line, Body, I promise I'll never do something as stupid as this again. I promise if you get me to the finish line, I'll never run a marathon. And I bet you I promised myself 58 marathons, and I bet you I promised myself in well over 40 of those marathons that I'd never run a marathon again. But it helped.
As someone who's had something significant that's gone on, that it takes an emotional toll on them, you know, sometimes you can't bring them back. It's been too much. Other times, you know, things have gotten tough. School demands, work demands, kids, whatever gets in there, and then you just kind of go into, okay, well, let's, you know, what kind of mental fortitude do you have? What kind of, how dedicated are you to really doing this?
It's a really great way to understand yourself. And Shakespeare says, you know, to thine own self be true. And you can only be true to yourself if you know who you are. And there's nothing like a good run. It's really to find out what you're made of.
And with certain things that have gone on in my life this past year, my morale has dropped low. It's tough to go on. It's tough to be motivated with all this negativity coming into my life. But I always know that the biggest lesson I've learned from doing all this is that no matter what, you always have to try. With the certain things that have gone on in my life, I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. But I know that when time comes, I'll be able to face it with confidence, to say, hey, you know, I'm going to do it, and even if I fail, I'm going to try my hardest no matter what. And even if I'm not ready for this marathon mentally or physically, I'm going to try. And that's all that matters to me. And that should all that matters to anyone. That you try. And with that mentality and attitude, I know that I can go far in life. And I know that I can do anything because I'm not afraid to try anything. And that's what 26.2 means to me. It's not a race. It's not a marathon. It's not how many miles there are to run. It's about how strong I am as a person and that I am my own hero.